G'day there guys, it's Connie here again, and we're back with some more stories from Reddit. As always, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and also the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Alrighty, let's get right into it. Okay, this one was posted on Relationship Advice. It's written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, Am I wrong for questioning my whole relationship after I found out my boyfriend was pocketing my rent money? We've been together 5 years. We live on a property my boyfriend's dad is renting. His mum and dad live in one house on the property and we live on the other. When we moved in, he told us the rent was $1,600 for the house, so $800 each for my boyfriend and I. A steal, I know. However, I just found out that my boyfriend and his dad came to an agreement at the start of the lease last spring that he, his dad, would pay our rent in full, and that the money I pay my boyfriend for rent, I had presumed pass along to his dad for rent, my boyfriend could keep. He said they wanted to help him out by paying his rent and his car while he lived here with them, so this was how they thought to do it. I immediately felt betrayed for not being involved and knowing about this, but I also felt like it's a bit unethical because I wasn't aware of where my rent money was going. I had been suspicious for a while, but I finally had the courage to ask. He admitted it and my stomach sank. His first reaction was to be mad at me for being upset about it. His point of view is that they didn't tell me because it's not my business, since I'm paying rent regardless. Therefore, if his dad wants to give him $800 a month for his car and also pay his rent to help him, this is a less roundabout way of doing it. He just keeps the $800 I'm sending for rent. He said in essence it isn't my money since it's rent money, so I shouldn't care where it ends up. He also said his dad asked him to keep it between him and his parents, so he was put in a weird position. I can see how this logically makes sense, but I can't help but feel like I've been paying him $800 a month to keep without my knowledge. I'm not upset about his parents helping him, that is between them, and I don't want to have my rent covered either. I'm grateful for the cheap rent and believe I should be paying rent. It's just the dishonesty and the fact that he just transferred my rent money into his bank account without telling me for a year that feels so wrong to me. We split everything else equally, like groceries, utilities and internet, except the occasional date night where he pays. I'm close with his family and frequently have them over for dinner, so it hurts that they all knew something I didn't. I have a full-time job and a side job. My boyfriend is self-employed but doesn't make too much from that. I don't typically mind, but I would like us to be more open with each other about finances. I don't know how to move forward from this, even though I want to be understanding and kind to him because he says it's a nuanced situation and that I should know he isn't the type of person to steal from me. He's apologized for the dishonesty but still doesn't see the issue. The relationship hasn't been perfect, but it has been worth staying in for 5 years. I just don't know how to get rid of this gut feeling that the situation doesn't sit right with me. Plus, rent was due yesterday and I haven't paid him yet. Is this grounds for a breakup, or can we work through it? If so, how? Or is it truly none of my business? Any advice is so appreciated. Oh man, this is weird. I mean, I can kinda understand what they're trying to do, but I think common decency means that you should probably let all parties involved know what's happening. Let's go to the comments. I'm confused. Boyfriend's dad is renting a property that has 2 houses, but is paying rent for each of the houses separately or subletting one. You sure boyfriend's dad doesn't just own the entire property? I would bet boyfriend's dad doesn't expect any rent for the house, and boyfriend just told that story to get money from OP. OP replies, no, it's like a big property with 2 small houses and their businesses on it. He rents the entire plot of land, he doesn't own it. Each house used to have its own rent along with the business spot, but now he just rents all 3 in one big lease. The commenter replies back, so there is technically no $1,600 in rent to pay if he rents the entire property. It's just you paying $800 to your boyfriend. Dad isn't actually putting out any extra money for rent. He would be paying the same amount even if you and the boyfriend weren't there since he rents the entire property. You are being scammed. Before you knew this, would you have described your relationship as having no real secrets? Has it changed how you view him or your relationship on a whole? Consider if you were in a different rental agreement and his parents were helping him financially without being involved in the rental agreement. He doesn't tell you. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like your relationship should be past the not sharing important information stage? Do you feel betrayed? Does his remorse match your feelings? She replies, these are good questions. I would say there were no real secrets before, but this has changed how I view the relationship as a whole. with him and the one I had with his parents too. After 5 years, I really felt like family, not a stranger. I don't think I'd feel the same way if my rent money wasn't involved at all. I do feel our relationship is past the stage of not sharing financial info. We've discussed marriage. I do feel betrayed. His remorse doesn't match my feelings. He's trying to dust it under the rug and move on from it because he doesn't see it as a big deal. Okay, Opie makes an adjacent post on a different subreddit 6 weeks later. I've been with my boyfriend for 6 years now. He's a content creator and posts 2 to 3 times a year when certain products are released. I have a 9-to-5 job that is my passion. I work from home about 35 hours a week, 40 on a hard week, and I have a side job related to my full-time job that takes about 10 to 15 hours a month. I love my job, although it can be stressful at times, but it's ultimately what I want to be doing, and I really don't think I overwork or prioritize it more than other things. I've always been super open about finances, but my boyfriend has not, which I respected and didn't push after some unpleasant conversations about finances. I thought as long as he had it together, I was okay with it. I recently found out that he's getting help from his parents on rent and his car payment, so I'm the only one paying rent essentially, and he hasn't made a livable wage from his content creation since around COVID, which is why he needs the help. When he isn't making content, which he makes content about 3 weeks out of the year, he's doing whatever he wants all day long. We've been living together for 2 years now, and it's frustrating that he hasn't tried to find another source of income and is okay just taking help from his parents. He's not a 9-to-5 type of person, and that's okay, but I would like him to do something. We were arguing recently over the financial situation, and he told me that my job is taking away from my ability to be 100% present in our relationship and that it doesn't benefit him at all. He thinks the time I spend working and then the carryover after work, whether it's stress or tiredness, is affecting us negatively. He also says he doesn't benefit from me having this job. I disagree since I'm the only one actually affording rent and our split household costs like groceries. He also said that if my focus was 100% on our household, then our house between both of us would be spotless. I'll admit I'm messier, occasionally leaving my coffee mug and breakfast dishes in the sink until after work, or not getting a chance to clean the litter box during my workday. I also have ADHD, so we'll let laundry pile up and my office get cluttered, but I'm working on it and always make sure our common area is tidy. I think this is normal, but he sees it as a lack of investment on my part. For the record, no, he doesn't do more of the housework than me other than vacuuming the house 1 to 2 times a day, but dishes, bathrooms, everything else we split. I do most of the cooking too. He basically told me that he doesn't regret not having a job for the past 2 years because we were able to spend a lot of time together, and that I'm ungrateful for not seeing the things he does for me, like make me the occasional breakfast or coffee during work. I am grateful for these moments, but in my opinion, now is when we should be working to build a life together, which involves financial contribution from both parties. I honestly would have preferred less time together the past 2 years if it meant we could talk about marriage, buying a house, having kids in a realistic way now. Given that I'm supporting myself on about $60,000 a year and he isn't contributing anything else, scares me. He said he never wants to be the person where work takes them away from their family or who prioritizes work over their family. He's raised the concern that if we had kids, I'd be distracted by my job. I had working parents growing up, and it just makes sense to me that I'd be able to have both without being villainized. His belittlement of my job is hurtful because he knows it's my dream job in a super competitive field, so I care about it. But I also do prioritize our home the rest of the time. I feel like he doesn't understand since he's never had a normal job. He's been working on creating an app that he says can bring us a lot of money in the future, and he's upset that I'm not being super supportive of it. Honestly, I am supportive and I'm happy he's so invested in this project, but I wanted him to find a steadier source of income first. Is this just a difference in values that we can work through, or does it sound like a deal breaker? Edit to add, I forgot an important detail. He said he had to work on his mental health for the past few years, which is why he didn't seek a job sooner as well. This made me feel bad because I am empathetic to his mental health struggles, but he never shared this with me, so from my point of view it looks like a lack of care or effort. Looks like a lack of care? Mate, this guy works 3 weeks in a year and you're telling me you do more cooking and housework than him? What is this guy doing all day, just sitting on his ass? Someone that takes on that little of responsibility and still gets overwhelmed is not someone you want to be your life partner. After the first post I thought maybe this could be salvaged, but now with more context, get the hell out of there, woman. Alright, on to an update, 2 months after the last post. I'm moving out. I got approved for an apartment this weekend and I'm excited to have the space to gain my own perspective and clarity. We're staying together for now and we'll see how it goes when I move out. I think he's seeing it as an opportunity for me to regret moving out and come back to him, but I want it to be an opportunity for him to get his life together and build a life with me. I'm aware it's unlikely things work out how I'm hoping, but I think whether we break up or stay together, moving out is my best next step. Thank you to everyone who gave advice and validated how I was feeling. It's a weird situation, and after a lot of therapy and thinking, I'm okay with the fact that I don't have to keep playing a game with rules I don't understand. Edit to add that we'd only lived in the house for about a year when I found out about the rent. We haven't lived here together the whole 5 years of the relationship. Moving out but staying together. I'm sure Reddit's got some choice words for OP. Let's read some final comments. Content creator that posts 2 to 3 times a year? The hell is his content on? The seasons? He said he never wants to be the person that work takes them away from their family or who prioritizes work over their family. Yeah, I also never want to be the person that work takes them away from family. Nobody wants that. And yet I'll be saying goodbye to my family tomorrow morning at 8:30 so I can go to work and do crap that I get paid to do. Then I take that money home to my family to make life easier for us. Wish I didn't have to, but my parents won't pay for my retirement. This guy is an insufferable bag of dicks, and she will be happier the farther she gets from him. Nah, this relationship is over, but I gotta admit, how does Mr. Hobosexual think things would get paid if Opie wouldn't have a job either? Mooch off the parents? What a clown. He doesn't benefit from her job. How's he getting that $800 a month? I can't believe she's trying to stick around. I truly don't begrudge her for pretending that this relationship might last after she moves out, as, well, what's the harm, right? It's only a slight delay in the breakup. But yeah, come on, there's absolutely no way that this relationship can possibly last. Yeah, I tend to agree. What about you guys? Do you think this could last? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we're going to leave that story there and move on to the next one. Okay, this next one's from Relationship Advice as well. It was written by user Opening Habit, and it's titled, I tested positive for an STD and I can't find any evidence of husband cheating. I'm coming to you all in need of advice on how to handle this situation. I feel like I'm in complete shock and I can't think straight. Any advice on how to proceed in this situation would be greatly appreciated. Background. My husband and I are high school sweethearts. We have been together since 2012 and have been married for 6 years, and we have a 2-year-old. Timeline. 1. January. I got off birth control so we could get pregnant. This was a mutual decision. 2. February. I got a severe UTI, got treated and symptoms improved. Doctor's office cultured my urine and confirmed the antibiotics would treat it. 3. March. Got another severe UTI. I visited the same doctor's office and they said it probably hadn't cleared up and gave me the same antibiotics. 4. May. Had my yearly OBGYN appointment and mentioned that I had a bad UTI previously. OB said to come back to her if it came back. Well, it came back, but they didn't have nurses doing urine analysis that week. I don't know, so she prescribed me a different type of antibiotic and said to come in if I have any issues. 5. June. I get a severe UTI again. Go to the doctor, they do a urine analysis and cultured it, but nothing grew. I was referred to a urogyno doctor. I go to urogyno and my urine culture comes back normal. After speaking with my mum, she suggests going back to the OBGYN to get tested for STDs. At this point, I'm desperate to get any answers. 6. On Monday, I got a panel done and I found out I tested negative for everything but trichomoniasis. I have been faithful to my husband and the thought of cheating on him is repulsive. Here is the confusing part. I confronted him and he is persistently saying he has never cheated on me. I kept calling him a liar and pushed him to tell me who it was. I kept reminding him that I have an STD, only transmitted by sexual acts, and that I have been faithful. I went through his phone, I checked all of his apps, previously downloaded and currently downloaded, nothing. I went through his Facebook Messenger, nothing. I went through his Snapchat, nothing. I went through his Instagram messages, nothing. I went through his call logs, nothing. I went through his car, nothing. I went through his credit card statements, nothing. He gave me his phone and said he would do anything to prove he hasn't been unfaithful. I'm completely stumped. We share our locations. In his significant locations, there was nothing suspicious. Now what? Opie edits the same day. On Friday, I called my OB's office and asked if there was any other way I could have gotten it, and the nurse told me no, it's only transmitted sexually. I then asked her when the last time I was tested for STDs was, and she told me in December of 2022, and I was negative for everything. I did not have anything. Because of this conversation, I assumed she knew I was talking about Trick because I asked about it before I asked for my labs. Also, why would she not tell me Trick wasn't included if that's what we were discussing beforehand? Later Friday, we called my aunt, who is a nurse that works in the same hospital, and asked her, and she said she didn't think Trick was tested for in pregnancy. She had to manually pull up my labs from 2023 and found Trick was not tested for. Friday afternoon, we also both got tested again for it and expect labs to be back Monday or Tuesday. I don't think my husband has cheated, and I have not cheated. I also let him go through my phone and cards, etc., because that's only fair. I've apologized to him for jumping his crap. I also have to look at it from his side as well. He knows he hasn't been unfaithful, and then I all of a sudden have an STD. We're going to start couples therapy soon, and we're also going to bring my child to the pediatrician to get tested for Trick, as we've taken many baths together. If you would have asked me any day before Thursday if my husband would cheat on me, I would tell 100% no without a doubt. We are solid. Talk about a strange situation. I mean, I've heard of misdiagnoses happening at hospitals before, but I don't know if this is a disease that commonly gets misdiagnosed or what. Let's see what the comments think. You need to post it in a medical sub. Trick can be asymptomatic in men and women for years. Although not very common, it is possible that you guys have had trichomoniasis for years and not have shown any symptoms. Since you stopped using birth control, your pH changed, and this may have triggered the outbreak of symptoms now. In any case, make sure both you and your partner get fully treated. Do either of you go to the gym? It can be transmitted via non-sexual means, damp objects being the primary cause of this type of transmission. Did either of you ever use a gym towel that wasn't washed properly, or sat on a machine with a damp seat while wearing very thin clothing, or sat on the bench in the locker rooms, etc.? Have either of you ever tried on a bathing suit without keeping your own underwear on, or wore a new suit without washing it first? I had an STI test recently and it came back positive with Trick. Had never been tested for this before because it's not on the regular tests. I've never had symptoms and the doctor said I could have had it for years. Apparently around 80% of people don't have any symptoms. Also, heard there's rare cases it can be transmitted by sitting on toilets, etc. Ask him to get tested too. Also, check your levels. The closer it is to 38, the less contagious. Hope it all works out for the best of you. Opie comments, he is going to go to the doctors today to get tested. What are the odds of it being transmitted non-sexually? He deals with people's dirty clothes, restaurant towels and aprons, floor mats, bathroom soap dispensers, toilet paper dispensers, etc. Another comment says, I'm a high school teacher and I'm not the only one who contracted Trick from the bathrooms at my school. That's how we found out multiple teens were meeting in the bathroom to hook up all at once. Opie replies, WTF, I'm a high school teacher. Whoa, it's all happening in the comments. Okay, Opie makes a final update 3 days after the initial post. We both went and got our urine tested Friday and we both tested negative for Trick. We are still going to get rechecked with urine, swab and blood to be sure we don't have it. What did I say? Misdiagnosis, right? Must have been. I imagine with her suddenly going off birth control, her levels must have been all over the place, or something like that. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. Another comment says, so I went to the ER with a swollen testicle that was increasing in pain. The nurse was nice to me until they came back with a diagnosis that she said could only be caused by an STI. I asked which one I had, and she told me I had to wait for the results and kicked me out in disgust. My girlfriend and I had been exclusive for a year, so I had a very awkward conversation asking if she cheated on me, which she denied. Then the results came back negative. I looked up the diagnosis, and one of the causes was a vasectomy, which I told the ER I recently had. Screw that nurse. I'm not a germaphobe, but this post might change that. And thank you everyone for the really in-depth conversation that follows and which did not help my newfound germophobia at all. So, the UTI that keeps reoccurring happened with my wife and I. No cheating or anything like that. My gynecologist finally figured out we were passing it back and forth with sex. I'm willing to bet that's why it doesn't clear up. As for Trick, this is the first I've heard of it, and I'm crazy impressed it can be spread via toilet seats. Good lord. Yeah, there's a newfound paranoia for you. Anyway, guys, that's it for that story, and that's it from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.